So I want to play some deeply invasive games on the show today.
Hell yeah.
Well, first, there's a lot happening. I should also clarify. Big rolling out the AV cart vibes. I don't know what movie you guys had. David, were AV carts a thing? Were you prime AV cart, your demo? Because I was a Jurassic Park kid. That would be the movie I'd be rooting for when the AV cart got wheeled out by the subs.
I have no idea what an AV cart is.
It's when they roll in the TV when the substitute teacher comes in. He's like, all right, guys, I'm not doing any work today. Let's put on a movie.
Oh, substitute teacher vibes. That's what you're getting at. Okay,
Audio
continue.
visual.
I totally missed that. I just want to say that I had no idea what an AV cart was.
Thank you, because I felt very alone. I looked back and Tony knew, so I was like,
thing.
okay, I'm the idiot.
No,
Or
I
an
said
old thing.
I don't know what that is, but
Am I the only person familiar with the brand that is the AV cart?
Now that I know what it is,
audiovisual.
everybody knows what you're talking about of the substitute teacher
Is
pushing
what
in.
happens here when you sit in for Dan that you just become the oldest person you've ever met?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Great.
And you're the only one
I
that
think
went
you
to
should
Harvard.
start over.
yeah, let's just start
Because that just was so flat. I don't even understand. Was that a joke, or were you trying to say that Dan's not here? Let's just say it quickly by saying there's an AV cart being rolled out.
Did you want me to recognize that you're actually the oldest person in the room here by like 20 years? Is that what that was about?
I love the tension early on. Let's
20
go.
years.
So I
Come
should say, David, who I love, despite the fact that it's going to sound throughout this show like I don't. When I was texting with Chris Cody, who was in the chair.
No, we're
by the
all
way.
one unit. I don't
No,
like when
this
we
is
put-
our captain right here.
Let's not put pressure on anything. We are one. You see the six of us in here?
Yeah,
we are
all
one.
the pressure
When
on
I
your
press
shoulders.
this button that says EP, it only goes to you. Let me try that right now. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, got
That's
you.
good
That's just
content.
you.
Yeah.
Definitely good content.
Yeah.
so weird vibes today, but honestly, not the weirdest vibes this week.
No.
Billy, the vibes are so good today.
Are they?
They're
Wait,
great.
what were the weirdest vibes this week?
Every day
Wavy.
has- it's just different vibes. You know?
I mean, this has been a new move for everybody, like in a new building. Everyone's not sure, like, how much are we celebrating? How much this show, this business, this company has clearly won? Are we just taking a victory lap now? Billy?
I have a question for you guys. Like when you come in to co-host the show on days that like Dan and Stugotz are in particular, because we were kind of talking about this behind your backs. So here's the question. What do you guys prepare for? Like, do you have a role that you know you're coming into? Because it seems like you're in, like, losing positions. Like, are you coming to be, like, fun and funny? Are you coming to be, like, smart and kind of, like, change the energy? Like, is it ever explained to you, or is it just, like,
It's a great question.
the train is moving, you just have to hop on?
So, David, what does Dan tell us? How would you describe that?
I would describe it as the absence of communication.
Ah.
So it is not actually that we are told what position we'll be in, nor what we'll be talking about, nor anything. We just come in here. I did get a text from Dan at about 4 this morning.
Welcome
Same.
to the club.
I was going to play that.
Raise your hand. Wait, raise your hand if you got a text from Dan before 6 a.m. today.
That's crazy. I wanted to play the game because
good audio.
Dan told us yesterday on air. So
Three of us raised our hands.
Yeah. He told us yesterday he's going to Costa Rica on vacation, and I wanted to play the game of who hears from Dan first, and it seems like everybody did at 4 a.m.
Dan
today.
is terrified that I am in this chair right now. If you're asking me, like, what am I providing
Could've ended
guidance
the
on?
sentence at terrified.
Dan is also just absolutely terrified to leave you guys.
Why?
For why? Why?
It's the strangest thing, actually. He basically, what was said to me this morning, because he and I texted very strange hours, which may be an old person thing. Basically, the net was, don't screw it up. Please, whatever you do, engage with everybody and don't make them right about how they feel about you.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm sure that was reassuring.
What does that mean?
Right, huh?
So I think we're all, this is a real, like, interpreting Logan Roy's will situation.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, is that an AV card thing?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
I got the
Spoiler alert.
reference,
Spoiler
Pablo.
alert. by the way.
Is it a spoiler alert when the name of the show is Succession that the guy dies? How is that a spoiler
Oh my
alert?
God, Dave!
David.
Dude, he could
dies.
retire.
It's
he could
called
retire.
Succession.
He could retire.
My brother David, I love you, but you got to take your ass to the penalty box
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
You gotta go.
Spoiler
Absolutely.
alert. It's the
That
rules.
was so uncalled
Sayonara.
for.
People haven't caught up with the show yet.
2 minutes.
Let's see some thong flip flops
2
walking
minutes.
through the.
No, let's not see. No. Let's not see that. Just go.
The other text that came is you can't say that.
David.
Okay, sorry.
David, what So I want to stress the other text that I got this morning, as David actually needs to leave the room for 2 minutes. Like, actually unplugs his IF. Thank you. We'll talk about your shorts in a second. Please don't break the studio. No, pull the handle all the way.
Handle.
Yep. No. Down.
What's
Push.
the problem with
There it
people
is.
with this
Very good.
door?
Very good.
Jeez.
It's a heavy
Construction.
door and it's not closed right.
It's more like construction. Maybe measure first before you put stuff up. But that's just me.
Got it.
What was
that
that
dedicated
for?
to me?
I was
looking.
looking.
Measure
Pablo
first,
said
cut twice.
Pablo said something like 3 minutes ago, and I was looking for the button. Found it.
It's measure twice, cut once.
Cut once. We'd be very bad drug guys, based on.
I don't think that's a drug
workshopping
thing.
of
I think
that.
that's just like a carpenter.
Yeah, no,
carpentry
that's
thing.
not drugs. That's like if you're
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to cut it a couple times.
Or like if
actually.
you're hanging a frame or
Right.
something. Yeah, no. Do you think that was a drug thing?
Probably crooked. Yeah.
I've sent a lot of texts that I shouldn't have sent to people. So the text I got, speaking of which, from Chris Cody that I think is really instructive and explains the vibes, Billy, is that his message as EP was very simple. Quote, one rule, fun.
Yeah, that's the
I wish I could.
That's the motto, baby.
I wish I could take credit for that. That's the Stugotz thing.
Yeah, Stugotz
like
says
that
that.
is. Anytime Stugotz is in without Dan, he'll send a group text saying that to everybody. And that's the vibes we want to have around here. We do have fun every day, but as we talked about, Dan can be, a little stressed out and stuff, and not around here. Not today. One rule: fun.
So something.
Why has this become like on Dan Day? It's not nice.
Because he's not here.
I mean,
I don't think anyone
it
Dan.
deserves
I think
it.
we just said honest things about our leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Dan is awesome. He's always there for me mentally and emotionally when I'm having a tough time. All these bullies online are coming at my throats for tweets that I didn't even say. This is just
That
saying
Dan-
what
that
David
Dan
said.
said.
Juju, by the way, Juju as the mental inbox for everybody who's mad at Dan is a real tortured existence.
Zagaki.
So something that was fun that I wanted to mention, and it's fitting that I do it with David out of the room, is that a number of us went to this Heat game, went to the Jimmy Butler game. We walked across the street. We strolled across the street because David Samson bought tickets for me, for Taylor, and for Juju.
Now, was this a thing? Can I jump in? Was this a thing where he's like, I got 4 tickets, who's here? Or was it, if there was 12 people in the room, would he have
No,
bought?
specifically, he said, I want Juju and I want Pablo. Now, call Taylor now and tell him to get back up here.
Okay, so Taylor had just left and there was 3 left, but Taylor had, so it was like kind of, you guys were the last 4 there?
We were just hanging around the building after work.
No, it wasn't. We were specifically invited. What are you doing, Pablo? We were specifically tailored to be there, pun intended.
Hey.
A task force was assembled to go to this Heat game. And David Samson, who is now sitting back in his chair, was basically edited out of most of the photos from this night. Me and Juju were on TNT, having a great time, broing out. And David, who bought the tickets, who was responsible for a lot of the fun, team-building, good vibes, on a night that was genuinely, I just feel obliged to say this again, one of the greatest nights of my life as a sports fan.
It seems like hyperbole.
Absolutely not.
God,
What the?
Did you see
What's wrong with you?
when they got that steal and Jimmy Butler dunked it? That I never heard an arena that loud before
It
in my
may
life.
be the loudest building I've ever been inside of. And this, David, was both your doing and now the thing you're undercutting.
No, I'm not undercutting at all. It was a great moment. It was definitely in my top 20 of NBA playoff games I've been to. That
Top
me,
20, that's so dismissive.
no, it's
Violating
the
the
first round.
rule.
It's first round.
So I was like 18.
That sounds about. Listen, Jimmy Butler was amazing, but I'm not. It was round 1. Now, what I enjoyed
I
most
could not
was
disagree more
the
with everything you're saying.
going back. Remember, I experienced it differently than you. I was going back to a sporting event in Miami for the first time since 2017. I was going back to a place where I used to feel welcomed. I used to feel important. I used to feel like I could go anywhere I wanted, speak to anyone I wanted, go back to the clubhouse, go talk to Pat Riley, do whatever. And I was there as a fan. I 100% agree.
But you had not stepped foot in a professional sporting venue since you lost your job with the Marlins as its president.
In Miami, that is correct. I took my son to a Knick game. But no, that's it. This was the first time in Miami. And the people there, I knew them. I was familiar with
This
them.
became very obvious what I love that I wish you guys all could have been there to see is David Samson becoming the mayor in exile returning. Like you
say exile in Miami, and that makes me uncomfortable. So it wasn't exactly that, but it was I was returning to a place where people looked at me and said, "Wow, it's been a minute," and I felt badly how unimportant I felt.
We walked in, and the first person we saw was Marlins Man.
That's true.
Did he know you, Dave?
You guys hug?
We walked in, and Juju, Taylor, and I were like, "Holy, it's Marlins Man!" And David said, "Give me a second," and made a beeline for Marlins Man.
He's had a fall. Literally. Upwards. He's fallen up. Like, he's not in the front row anymore. He's like 6th row generally. At the Panthers games, he's got front row. But I'm noticing in these NBA games.
Do you know what literally means?
What?
You had to fall literally upwards?
You actually can't do that.
Literally.
It was a joke. Yeah.
Right.
No. People use literally a lot when it's not literal. It's mostly figurative. But yeah, Marlins Man is someone who we've had moments with because he wanted stuff. He thought that he was our marketing guy, right? So he wanted the ability to have special treatment, and we had to be very careful not to give him that. We needed separation from him.
You did not sue Marlins Man for using your team's name, logo, and any his stuff.
He wore a jersey to games. He didn't use it. He did not profit commercially.
But you were concerned about him being the ambassador of the team that you ran because Marlins Man seemed like he was his own agenda.
Yes, we did not want anyone thinking that we were paying him to be in the winner's circle of the Kentucky Derby.
So what did you tell him when you ran into him for the first time in years after returning from banishment?
So he would text me from time to time, and I can go through his text chats. It's pretty funny about Derek Jeter, about the Marlins, about all the issues, about how much he wishes that we were back, the old regime. And he wanted to just make it clear that anytime I wanted to go to a game with him, he wants my first game at Marlins Park to be with him, and I have demurred.
That sounded incredibly pathetic.
In Jeter's introductory press conference, he somehow was there and he said, "Do you know who I am?" And then invited him to drive down the street in a convertible with him. He was rebuffed.
I demand
Denied.
David Samson's text messages after this break.
They're right here. It's something.
So I'm going to violate everyone's privacy by asking into your cell phones, including David's, including everybody.
Oh, boy.
Yep. But first, I do want to talk about something that Chris said yesterday, because Chris was this voice, as we were talking about, celebrating this game that I believe to be a top 5 sporting experience in my life, and David believes to be a top 20 sporting experience in his. NBA, God. What I want to talk about, though, is that Chris was the one voice yelling out after Jimmy Butler set a career high in points, scored 50 zillion. He said that you're all scared.
I mean, that game was hard to win, even with what Jimmy did. And Vegas agrees with me. The Heat are still underdogs in this series, which is insane.
This is the thing that we need to acknowledge here as I sit in this sweaty-ass chair. So the Heat are up 3-1 on the Milwaukee Bucks, an 8 seed over a 1 seed. And the line is what now?
The Heat are plus juice. I got to pull it up.
It's 11.5, I think, is the line.
That's the game line.
It's a game line, yeah.
But the series line.
If you were
betting the series now.
I'm looking at
my guess is Bucks minus 110, Heat plus 105 maybe.
The Heat are minus 130.
Okay.
The Bucks are plus 110.
So the Heat are favored.
Barely.
Slightly.
But that's
The Knicks are minus 500. I'm just saying, usually up 3-1, even the Knicks as the lower seed.
But that's 4-5 versus 1-8.
I'm just saying, the point
we
was...
just watched the Miami Heat have the game of their playoff existence, short of LeBron, Game 6, and they are minus 130, up 3-1.
I watched Shaquille O'Neal in this town and Dwayne Wade, and I mean, this was a great performance by Jimmy Butler. It really was. But come on.
Pablo, the thing is, too, is like the regression to the mean is coming, right? It's plus 130 for the series, but Jimmy Butler just had that game, and that feels like just a mountain to cross and scale for another game and another game and another game. He's going to score 150 points in 3 games.
What's his over-under? Do you know his player prop? for tonight's game. Let's guess. I'm gonna say the player prop over under for Jimmy Butler is 24.
Oh, I bet it's 29.
That means that the Bucks, right, are getting back in theory over 25 points.
I know it's 3-1. It sounds great, but everybody expects the Bucks to win tonight, right? And maybe except for Ryan Cortez and Jeremy, but the Bucks are gonna win tonight.
Let's
and then
go.
You basically you got to win Game 6. I know the Heat have already won a road game, and it's just easy to be like, oh, the home teams will win. But it's like, to me, I look at this as you got to win Game 6. It's like you have one game.
It's 29.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, look at
About
me.
it tonight.
I'm just saying,
Like
after
you're a
scoring
line
50,
setter.
I mean,
That's
after
my EP.
Yeah, exactly. Zagak.
That's my button 1, row 2. Listen, so I want to mention a Game 5 and the mentality when you're going home down 3-1 or you're going on the road up 3-1. People may think, and the line reflects this, that this is a give-up game for the Heat. Don't worry about it. The problem is that if you lay down in a Game 5, Game 6 becomes Game 7. You don't want to be back in Milwaukee for a Game 7 on Sunday if you're the Heat. You are concerned that if you play at home Friday night, that you're one game away from that eventual loss of the series. So the Heat should actually be going into tonight's game, in my opinion, as a must-win game. Calling a Game 5 a must-win game, it's almost a poll question. Can Game 5 be a must-win? And specifically in the Heat series, I believe it is.
I thought Game 4 was a must-win when they were up 2-1. It's just this Bucks team is just, I don't know. I'm a Heat fan. I know we've been doing this thing where it's like you're either in or you're out. I'm rooting. I thought you just looked over your shoulder. I thought Ryan Cortez.
I was waiting for Parakeet Cortez to break through the glass and tackle you.
Just because of
You guys gave this like 24 hours, if that, before getting back into the Heat.
I'm just
Overrated.
scared. I've been scared. I just think this Bucks team all year. Look, I mean, they're just better. I mean, I know this team has a track record of going far, so it's like they can do it. But it's until we win this series, I'm still fearful we're going to
I think the difference is it's one game, right? It's one game. You're not coming back down 2 games where you have to try and even up the series and then win on the road or something. They're up 3-1. This is a house money game away from their friendly confines. Like, if you win this game, okay, great. If you lose, okay, good.
No, but if you
no
lose,
big deal.
all of a sudden, Game 6, I have to win this game.
Yeah, but you're at home, though.
I know, but I'm just scared. That's how this playoffs. Like, you're supposed to be scared in the playoffs. Am I supposed to be confident? We're the 8th seed. This is the way this is supposed to work. We're up 3-1. I'm still a little scared, but confidently scared.
I don't like
Is that
saying it's
possible,
house
Billy?
money. I think you got to take that out of your vocabulary. When you're playing a team like the Bucks, you need to get another win. You can't. If you think going in Game 5 is house money, you might as well just not even show up. Play Duncan Robinson for 45 minutes.
They might do that anyway.
They might have to, yeah.
Yeah. This is incredibly disappointing, though. Yesterday we had the peak. Today we have the come down. And finally, yes, Parakeet Cortez, wearing sunglasses and dressed exactly as you'd imagine, has come in to furiously swagger towards a microphone because he's been sitting outside listening to everybody talk about how maybe like minus 130 is actually generous for the Heat to win a series in which they're up 3-1.
I've been outside for 48 hours. Mike Ryan didn't let me in the studio yesterday. He was so scared of me. He kept security away from me.
Sorry.
What are you doing, Tony? Get away
cursed.
from
I
me.
need to mark it. Yeah.
Don't worry about marking it. The people want to hear me curse.
No, they don't.
I'm sick of this
But
conversation.
Cortez,
I
honestly,
wanted to leave.
Can we
What's
just
up?
have a conversation here instead of doing the shtick thing?
There's no shtick.
So
How
you're
ma-
not a little nervous? Like this Bucks team
Nervous?
is overwhelming.
Okay. First of all, I was outside yesterday with Jeremy. We were watching this Max Kellerman Get Up show in the afternoon, and they flashed the title odds. That's the name. They flashed the title odds, and the Knicks showed up before the Heat. The Bucks are still the 3rd best odds to win the title, despite being down
Yes.
3-1.
Yes, they
Like
are.
you guys said, they're 11.5-point favorites. It's massively disrespectful. How many times does Jimmy Butler have to do this before you guys like?
More
One
than
more time.
once.
Yeah.
He literally has to
Today.
do that every time. That's the point. He has
gotta
to
do
do what he
today.
did last game every time.
Game 6, Game 7.
Here's what you guys don't understand. This has been building the entire year. You guys have been disrespectful and haven't understood what this year's about. Jimmy Butler has been calibrating for this moment since last year and the bubble. So what he saw in the bubble, what he saw last year was, look, it takes about 20, 25 games of me doing this. And so he spent all year saying, I'm going to like manage my minutes. He didn't play a lot. He also had the most efficient season of his career because he built up for this moment, and now it's coming.
But assuming he can't do 56 again, let's give him.
He might be able to do 57.
I know he can.
58.
Let's just be realistic. Assume
Just
30
say
points.
higher numbers.
59.
Who steps up?
69.
Who's the guy you're looking at tonight?
Nice.
Of like,
Nice.
if we're gonna win game, if we're gonna pull this game 5 out, it's gonna be somebody's got to have a monster game.
You heard of a little man named Duncan Robinson? Yeah, have you?
I love how we don't even think about Bam. Bam's not even an option. Is Bam?
Did you guys see
Idris.
the Bam hamstring report? That was a nice leak by the agent.
That was planted.
Heady play.
Bamstring?
You know the funniest
Is
thing?
he
in the
not
playoffs?
signed already?
Bam.
Agents are generally leaking when there's pending money to be made. What would be the purpose of a leak to explain his disappointing
just
play?
reputation. Like
Court of public
Can I?
opinion.
But
Heat fans are
Reputation.
trading him though.
Do you care about that if you've got the max deal already?
Doesn't the agent?
I feel like all of this, though, the idea about what is the verdict on this guy, do we want him or do we not, it all hinges on the playoffs. All of it. We'll talk about Trae Young in a little bit, but literally every player who was almost traded, as in Trae Young, or in Jimmy Butler, who was allegedly, hearing whispers, was not the easiest guy to coach, was tough in that locker room, was frustrating because he had these tendencies in which he was calling his shot, choosing his destiny. I'm going to play this way or not play the way you want me to until it matters. And we are a culture in sports that so cares about what happens in April, May, and June in the NBA to the point of, like, if Bam comes out and drops 30, guess what's going to happen? Bam will be a hero who will be celebrated and rewarded for that, even if that is one data point after 84, 85. Now I'm just saying higher numbers.
It's just hard to look at Bam when you see Jimmy. Okay, in the playoffs, he gets better, and then you look at Bam, and it's like, Bam, just give me what you did. At least don't just give me even. Give me what you gave me in the regular season. He doesn't even do that. It's just.
But this is
you
this
ready?
is the great. But David, this is the amazing, and I'm tempted to call it a scam, even though I respect it because it's the hardest thing to do. Is what Jimmy Butler did and might do again, what Kawhi Leonard was doing until he got hurt and/or needed to not show up to work because his sister was convicted of murdering an old person, which is horrifying, obviously. But the point is, they don't actually try until they know it's time to make the people that I need to like me forget everything about how they didn't like me until April.
So it is money related. So there are players in baseball and basketball, when they perform well in October or during the playoffs, they're going to get paid more because owners look at that and say, it's the money shot concept. We want players who are going to be good when it matters because we want rings. So my perspective is on a Jimmy Butler, he gives you 56 yesterday. You've got fans being totally irrational, which is what you're being. Not that you're totally irrational to the point of I can't even figure you out because you know in your mind you're a smart guy. You can't expect him to get 56 today.
He's done it like numerous times.
I'm asking if you're expecting him to score
Back-to-back
56
50-point
today.
games?
What is he, Bernard King?
He could absolutely do it today.
By the way, so could I.
That's not
Absolutely. I bet on that.
God damn it! No, you cannot do it today. Mark it. Sorry.
He's not playing though. So.
I'm not going to go over this with you again tomorrow, though we could when Jimmy Butler doesn't get 56. And what we rationalize tomorrow as the fan is, hey, that was an extra game. If we could have gotten it, great. We didn't get it. We're home for game 6. We've got the series.
House money game day.
Fans rationalize every single thing that happens on and off the court. And what we have to do in a front office or running a show is we can't be this way. It's like irresponsible to talk about the Heat in a certain way going game to game.
What's irresponsible is how you guys have talked about the Heat, honestly, because they've done it year after year after year, and you guys continue to disrespect them. All year, you guys said this team isn't good. They should play for the lottery. This guy who I refuse to high five, try to give me a high five. I'll leave you hanging like Poppy. I can't believe Jeremy gave you a high five.
I wouldn't try with you.
It's disgusting. The Heat have proven this
Really,
over and
please no.
over. Jimmy's proven this over and over, and I'll be here tomorrow to talk to you, David.
I'll be here.
You're going to have
because-
to apologize.
No, I'm happy to apologize, but it still will be an example of fandom. And that's okay if that's what you are, but just acknowledge it.
I'm just imagining the events, like what nuclear bomb needs to basically very specifically take out everybody in the city of Milwaukee but David Samson, 4 other Heat players, and 5 Milwaukee Bucks for you to actually prove that you could score 56.
I didn't say that I would score 56 on anything other than a Nerf hoop. I was merely making a comment that Jimmy Butler scoring 56 doesn't make sense.
The Heat are up 3-1 and I'm the dumb one? How about you all go to hell?
So I could talk further about how I think it's actually incredibly impressive. Maybe the most impressive thing that someone like Jimmy Butler might actually have a clutch gene. The idea that there's actually a mythological aspect of him in which he awakens in the postseason, as I say, like a werewolf baying at the moon, and becomes 50 times better than he is. But I mostly just want to talk about how when I sat down here, David Samson told me that he has pickpocket-proof shorts on.
Go on.
That's true, actually.
I could pickpocket you.
No. These are pickpocket-proof and proven to be. It is, I'm the guy.
Was that like on the receipt when you bought it?
Did you Google like pickpocket-proof shorts?
No.
Have you been pickpocketed?
No.
Because of the shorts, or just in general, you haven't been in a place you've been pickpocketed?
You're notoriously fearful, though, right? Of everything.
Yes.
Yeah, red shoes.
So is this an
footsteps.
Instagram ad that you just...
Yes!
There it is.
That's what I was waiting for, Roy. Thank you.
IG knows us all.
I am exactly subject to
butts.
the whims and vagaries of the algorithm that is Instagram.
I like to now imagine what it took in your search history to get served an ad for pickpocket-proof shorts.
Good alliteration, by the way.
I would say that it took me searching neighborhoods where I travel, and I'm Googling. I Google safe, not safe. Safe areas. Like when you grow up in New York, there are places you're allowed to go, places you're not allowed to go. Every city has those places. And so when I travel, I do searches about where I can walk because I like walking around cities and discovering them. And so it is possible that that's what it is. Or it's
Look
possible.
at these pockets, by the way. You got to stand up a little bit and show the pockets.
Or it's
there are so
no,
the
but
idea
let me
of what
explain.
this technology is,
just
by the
look
way.
like
It just looks like cargo
shorts.
shorts, yeah.
I hear you, but here's the subtlety of it. Take a look right here, if you don't mind.
There's so many pockets.
I don't like this
The
angle.
zipper.
Zipper's opposite way, and it buttons
Opposite way
across.
zipper. The zipper is up as opposed to down.
And look at this.
Great
You
for
close
podcasting.
it right there.
Oh, wow.
You can't get through the pocket.
Oh, wow. There's a strap with a button on
Right
that
there.
closes over the zipper.
There are so many zippers and buttons on these
See,
shorts.
You sold these as shorts that they're just normal, but they just have some technology that stops people from pickpocketing. Like, yes, if you zip up a pocket and
Wait,
you
you
put
No,
a
no,
latch
the
over
pocket
it,
zips
the
the-
pocket
Chris
is-
had electrified shorts.
I just had not electrified, but I just had it some technology of it blocks quick, like
Shock
a seatbelt.
pockets.
You know how seatbelt I can pull it, but if it's fast, it locks up. I thought maybe the
Oh,
shorts
that's
could
a
tell.
good
Stops
idea,
people's
actually.
fingers
The
from
shorts
getting in
could-
your
The
pocket.
shorts could tell when it's a hand that doesn't deserve to be there.
Motherfucker puff up like an airbag when somebody try to go in your pocket.
Zagak.
Yeah, like a puffer
Zagaki.
fish.
What do you
With
walk
bars.
around with in your pockets that you need such security from or for?
I have
Marlins
various
deal.
things in different pockets that are always in the same pocket. So I keep hotel key in one pocket. I keep money clip in one pocket. I keep hand sanitizer in one pocket. I keep Listerine strips in one pocket. And then I keep phone in one pocket.
Different pockets?
Now,
Yes.
okay, you listed 5 things. What are in the order of things that you would want to lose the least?
They're
in
tied.
there?
They're,
All of them.
I don't want to lose anything.
But
I
wait
know,
a minute,
but
wait
if
a
you had
minute.
like your hotel room key versus your Listerine
Billy, I
strips.
believe that it's very important for everybody to understand here now that we're getting inside of David's brain and violating his privacy.
It's OCD behavior.
No.
But this is Roy.
What makes
No. David. Roy's question is a valid one, but it's not specifically the way your brain works,
Or
as
an
I've come
accusation.
to appreciate it. It's a valid accusation because it's important for people to know that when you say I have one for Listerine strips, one for this, you have mapped out why you're putting this thing into that pocket. I am going to guess because you are kind of the only person I know who sees the world through a series of very rigorously analyzed decisions that is never going to be taken for granted or presumed. You're going to be thinking so crazily deeply
So let me
about
just
how
give you
to
an
do
easy
this.
example. When do you use your hotel room key?
When you book a hotel.
No, you use it only when you're back for the day. So it doesn't need to be accessible where you need to during the course of your day, right? So the hotel key always goes deep in the right side. It's actually there now. It goes right here. I'll show you exactly where it is. It's this pocket, front right deep zipper, because I only access it when the day's over when you're going back to the room. money clip, because you access that more, is bottom right pocket because I'm a righty. So
But
I
David,
use my
you're giving
right
out
hand.
all the all the places where everything
By
is.
the
Now
way,
everybody knows.
come at me.
Pickpocket-proof, though.
It's pickpocket-proof. Come at me.
Go try to steal something from him, Tony.
Hey, David.
No, it's gotta be the
Wait, Juju, put on the poll. Could you pickpocket David Samson even after knowing where all of his objects are located?
element of surprise, Billy. He can't know that I'm gonna go pickpocket him. He's got to be looking around, getting some eggs at the table.
You
All of a
need
sudden I
and
take
you
it.
need
bumped into
somebody
each other.
else. The real pickpocketers, they use someone to distract
tandem.
and then someone to get in there.
But David,
You got to bump them. You got to bump somebody when you pickpocket.
Like, oh,
It's
my bad.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
And
David,
all of a
I
sudden
heard
Very
your phone's gone.
sensitive to the bumps,
Phone's gone.
Chris.
Hey, David, I heard you on the LeBatard Show with them pickpocket pants. Stick them up. Give me the
Are they good against weapons?
By the way, there's a chance I will not leave the hotel again ever. The fact, if we actually
I do like
keep
how
this
we
in
were
the
all
show-
talking about like sleight of hand tricks, and it was like, oh right, that's not actually how a robbery would go. Now that I think about it,
This is horrifying right now.
but it brings us to the larger game that I wanted to play today as your substitute teacher, which is that clearly there are things we have bought off the internet that we are all very proud of. David Samson has pickpocket-proof shorts that cannot prevent the picking of his pocket by a gun.
This is
But I'm curious what you guys have bought off the internet that you're evangelists for, that you actually are obsessed with. Because I got one, but I want to hear what you guys got.
Mine's not technology. I have a back scratcher that I use daily. It's just
Like
right by my
wooden,
spot on my couch. Yeah, it's
plastic?
It's the wooden thing.
Is it like the hand, like
Yeah,
a wooden
like a
hand, like a
little-
little tiny
yes,
hand, like a
little
monkey
wooden
paw?
hand.
But did you only discover it on an Instagram ad? Those things, back scratchers, have been around forever.
No, I think I got it at just like a store.
No, but it's not. I thought you were talking
So
about
you're not playing the
Pablo.
game right.
I thought it was random items in our life
I-
It's
that
a different game.
I will
That
welcome
you bought at a
this.
store?
I will welcome this into
that
the
you don't
game.
need, that you use every day, that you don't actually need.
Okay, I thought that we were playing a game that you didn't know existed until an ad came, and then you said, "I want that."
That's also welcome in the game.
There's lots of games.
Those are
going
three
on.
different
Let's
games, by
just-
the way, yeah.
What game are we playing first?
What's Pablo's game?
The game that I have is something you bought off the internet that maybe was served to you by an algorithmic function that detected that, oh, this person is, instead of Instagram searching for, as we've called them on the show, bikinis, he's searching for places to not get mugged. I'm going to serve him this ad for pickpocket-proof shorts. For me, I got served a Japanese bidet attachment for my toilet,
Luxury.
and it is the greatest thing.
Is it Toto?
That
Go
I have
on.
ever bought. It is Toto. It is. I cannot more strongly recommend this to every person I meet. The way that we have been doing it is savagery. You know what I don't have to do anymore?
What's that, Pablo?
Reach over and use some real dry ass toilet paper to dry my ass.
And haven't done that in years. Welcome to the 25th century.
Yeah, we're using
Wet
wipes now.
is,
Yeah.
Well, hold on though.
two
But this is the thing about the wipes. You guys are flushing those into your toilet or throwing them into the trash, creating
Never
fat
throwing
birds.
them in the trash.
Who's
Never
throwing them into
throwing
the
them into the
trash?
trash. What is happening here?
Time out. You take the wipes and throw them in your trash?
I'm saying
we cannot
that.
ever be together.
I am saying that because A, I don't actually use these wipes because again, I have the power of water. Without wipe needed,
You never wiped your kid's ass? What'd you do with those wipes?
we have a diaper genie that we throw in because when you flush wipes into the toilet, what happens is you create fatbergs. You guys familiar with what a fatberg is?
Are you familiar with a flushable wipe?
Attaboy. That says it on the actual
but
label.
those-
Flushable.
They're still bad for your pipes.
There is no way
That's
that
what
that
she-
wipe is actually flushable.
It's the same as wet toilet paper.
It is not.
Does your bidet, does it have the water that goes so you use no toilet paper at all? The Toto.
I have reduced my toilet paper consumption to a single square.
That's impossible.
How do you even get your fingers
You a
protected
double ply
in a
kind of guy,
single
or
square?
It doesn't
Gotta
even
go-
matter anymore.
You got to go 2
It
squares.
doesn't
and
even
fold it
matter
over
what
at
kind of
least.
ply
Oh,
I have.
geez.
I can't.
It matters.
Can we go back to the game, please?
That's the game.
No, but that's yours. Your answer is
The
some
Japanese
sort
toilet is a thing that when I go to luxury hotels and they don't have it, I am mad.
So are you currently angry?
Yes.
Okay. What about you?
I got a grill brush for my pellet smoker. Regular grill brushes have like those wire metal tips that get stuck on your actual grill, and if you eat it, it causes really big problems. This one is not wired; it's actually like a cloth, so that actually works out.
Is that the one that's like advertised by the firefighters?
Yes, that's the one.
And
Grill Rescue.
Yeah, Grill Rescue. So how does that work? Not to give them a free plug, because I've seen that, but then I Googled it and I saw some not the best reviews, let's just say.
So you wet the brush, and then you get the scraping, basically.
And you brush it.
Were you aware of it before you saw the ad?
No.
That it existed?
No.
That's pretty. And how quickly did you make the decision to purchase? How quickly does that ad work for you?
It took about a good month and a half, 2 months before I decided.
Wow.
I'm the same. Like sometimes it's an impulse buy, and like David, you are in sales or have been in sales or whatever, right, as a president. So like when I worked in retail, we had by the cash register, it was called Impulse Towers. And that was literally the name, and they just put on there like smaller versions of the products and trinkets, because it's like, okay, like while you're waiting in line, you'll see this and you're like, this isn't that expensive. Let me just get it. And it's just add-ons and add-ons and add-ons and stuff like that. So I will have impulse buys, but like Roy, sometimes I will go and way overthink it and way over-research some of these products, and then I'll just go with like a cheaper version of the product.
But is it a price issue for you? Is that what causes the delay? So if something's $10, you'll say, all right, I'm going to bang it right now. But if it's $100, you're going to think about it and decide.
Yeah, it was a price issue.
$10, hell, I'm not doing that either, David. Like,
I'm very I'm inconsistent on stuff like that, because there's some things that I will be like, this item I will spare no expense. Like, this is worth, let me just get it. And then it's like, well, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll do like a BOGO to save $1. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah, but a BOGO's different though, Billy. Like BOGOs want to be bought.
No, but
BOGO's there for you to buy.
What's a BOGO?
A BOGO's buy one, get one. So usually
you guys don't do that in New
or
York?
half
Famous
off
at
or
Publix,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like what we do with tickets.
The
Which just makes your average ticket price cut in half.
The worst is when they make you buy like 3 things to get one off.
Yeah, it's like 3 for $6.
I'm not buying 3 12-packs of Coke for 1 free Coca-Cola.
Well, here's a fun fact for some of you. A lot of those stores just have it programmed in the thing anyway. So it'll say like buy 3 for $6, but once they scan one, it's $2. So you could just buy one and it's
you
on
get
sale.
the prorated price.
Right.
Yeah.
Real hoopers now.
If it's something that doesn't spoil, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? It makes no sense
I don't need
what you're
4
saying.
12-packs of Coke.
But you'll
Because
get
it's a
to it
storage issue,
eventually.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to get to it. It doesn't spoil.
It's a storage
It's
issue.
like cans of tuna fish. Why wouldn't you buy as many as you can?
Because we are broke, brother. Back to the point, Exhibit A. We are broke.
No, but you're getting a deal, Juju. You're getting 10 for the price of 4. That's how you get unbroke.
This is David Samson now trying to
Impart.
pickpocket. Juju got it.
Right. Impart your wisdom into me, brother.